If anyone has the inside story on Ray Martin, it's Ray Martin. And now, after 4 decades of telling other people's stories, Ray's telling his own. At the age of 64, Australia's most famous journalist has written an autobiography, and there are certainly some extraordinary revelations. Perhaps most surprising of all are Ray's recollections of his childhood. These were hard years, marked by poverty and the emotional turmoil of living with a drunken, violent father. But Ray transcended those early difficulties, becoming a huge star on the television screen and, as I was to discover preparing this report, an even bigger star behind the scenes.
What is your mission now?
I'm just doing a 60-minute story, that's what I'm doing, just here.
If it's down to sheer popularity and a mastery of the common touch, Ray Martin wins the title Mr. Australia hands down.
I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad I met you.
The man who moves so easily with princes, prime ministers and movie stars has an extraordinary empathy with ordinary folk, and they with him. I should say that even when the camera isn't rolling, I mean, you're still engaged with these people.
I mean, if I sit on an aeroplane or in a bus, I invariably talk to the person alongside me and I invariably find something interesting. I like it. I guess that's, people ask me when they come and they think about being journalists, what do you need to be a journalist? Well, I guess, you've got to be curious and you've got to actually like people.
I want to have a special request. Could someone hold my camera while I do a moonwalk for you?
Charming at first, this impromptu circus would prove a growing frustration as we attempted to tell his story.
Good job, time's not important.
Oh, yes. Don't you worry about the making of the story. Finally, we escaped the madding crowd, but only by dragging Ray away on a long road trip to trace his origins. It would have been a dirt road in those days.
It was dirt and treacherous and winding. Always conscious that right down there, just down there, was a drop. Say goodnight, nurse.
He was a country boy with 3 sisters. They shared a tough, impoverished childhood. Ray remembers 13 homes in as many years as his father, an ex-serviceman, searched for work. Ray's favourite place, lovely Yaranga Billy, where his dad toiled on the snowy mountain ski. Is that somewhere over here?
Yeah, this is where the policeman's cottage was. And that's what we'd, 1-bedroom cottage, that was our house.
There's not much left.
No, this is it, Charles. There you go, so the history of my life.
A couple of bricks. Don't you think they might have put up a plaque or something? As idyllic as it all looks here, there's an aspect of his childhood Ray has never revealed. His father was a violent drunk who, one night, fired a shotgun to intimidate his family. I think it's inspiring, but it's also horrific, your early life, I think.
It's funny, horrific, it's all relative.
But a drunken father who brutalises your mother and, in fact, hits you and even threatens the family with a firearm. I mean,
we were terrified that he had threatened my mother, that he'd kill her if she ever sort of left. And I guess there are enough examples of his violence, and it was getting worse, for us to believe him. I changed so often early on that we come to the same restaurant for 20 years plus. Yeah.
It's taken a lifetime for this reporter to reveal the dark detail of his own early story. He's been equally protective of his family, his wife of 40 years, Diane, and 2 children, 24-year-old actress Jenna and 19-year-old Luke, a student, all of whom he has shielded from the media spotlight until now. And did you really, as he says in the book, kiss on the first date?
Look, he insists that I did, but I cannot remember it.
No,
it was that memorable.
That's right. The kiss was that memorable.
Look, as a journalist, I know you can bore your family with stories about little things that you've saved or changed during your career. Does Ray do that?
Charles, you open up, it's not a can of worms, it's just this bucket of whatever you open up.
You can't say, I've heard this story. I'm sorry, Dad, I've heard this story. Because he enjoys telling it.
Ray's strong bond with his children is in stark contrast to the relationship he had with his own father. In 1955, at the age of 11, Ray and his family finally fled their father's drunken and violent behaviour. And a further revelation. Back then, Ray Martin wasn't Ray Martin. He was born Raymond Grace, but that was about to change here at Sydney Central Station.
Mum had decided to flee.
You were doing a runner here?
We were doing a runner. We were
and
fleeing.
You saw the name Martin somewhere.
My mother had to fill out a form to catch the train to Adelaide. And she
I
didn't want to...
remember from childhood, you know, the Martins, something was advertised. It was either an insole for your shoe or was some kind of pill for incontinence or something.
Could have been either. Could have been both. Could have been both. I don't know, but it became permanent. Mum changed it by deed poll a little while afterwards, and I can't imagine being anything else but Ray Martin. I'm Ray Martin.
And here's your host, Ray Martin.
Who would have guessed it would become a household name?
It'd be wrong to say that all of New York is infested with...
For Ray, it all started with the ABC, and quickly. Within 4 years, he was posted to America, covering all the big stories from Washington to Rhode Island.
This place here, Chelmsford Private Hospital in Sydney.
But it was at Channel 9 that the star was born.
We filmed them like cowboys riding shotgun around the edges of Kabul. A wonderful view, superb wine.
For 30 years, centre stage as Mr. Australia.
Well, let me ask you face to face what every Australian would ask you. Did you kill Azaria?
No way.
From 60 Minutes reporter to the showman at midday.
Might not get the trousers.
Throw in some serious debates and carols by candlelight, and along the way...
Thank you very much again.
Gather 5 gold Logies.
2, 3...
Watching it all happen and providing much of the musical accompaniment is his old mate, the bandmaster, Jeff Harvey. I hear the music, it's over here. And it's your song.
It's the ghost of...
Hello, Charles.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Ray.
Thank you very much for being here.
I wonder who you were playing there for Charles, were you?
No. It's for you.
It's like that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To be out with Ray is like that.
We left the airport one day, and between the airport in Sydney here and Channel 9 Studios, 2 blind men were cured, right? And one person called Lazarus or something like that, who was dead, walking.
What's his great strength, other than listening?
I think he does his homework. If we're being serious, he really does his homework. He's just a very good interviewer, a very terrible singer, and not a very good conductor of orchestras, but somehow great charm gets him through.
Come on, Ray, you've got to sing. Sadie, the gleaming lady. No, forget it, Ray, I'll sing.
Over 45 years, Ray Martin has taken us inside the lives of more celebrities than we can count.
Are you tough or are you brittle?
I would say I'm fragile.
Mark, get up.
But there were also those who weren't so happy in the spotlight.
So how hard is it to get a job?
The Paxtons, a family who infamously preferred the dole to work, were outed by a current affair when Ray was the host.
Some days they come home and they do believe that no hope is...
Today, it's a kind of journalism that makes Ray Martin uneasy.
I think we could have done it better. I think at Current Affairs as a program and the host, we could have done it better. The impression was left that we had exploited. It was like a public stoning of this family, and I think that's probably what it was. When I wrote the book, that was one of the, if you like, one of the revelations for me. When you add it all up, we were rating so highly in commercial television, such things feed more ratings.
Today we're going to find out exactly when Ray decided.
Then came the Paxtons' revenge.
Go to the office. Shane Paxton, thanks for
With a
joining
member of the contentious family in tow, a youthful satirist named John Safran turned up at Ray's home back in 1998.
It's 9:30, Mr. Martin. Why aren't you at work?
It's not often that the all-round decent bloke Ray Martin loses his cool, but when he did, it made headlines. That gave your critics a chance to say, Ray can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Yeah, he's a serial pest. serial pest.
Do you wish you hadn't lost your cool with him?
No, not really. I'm just glad that he wasn't hurt, because I sort of grabbed him by the throat. And
there was a tribal warrior coming
out. What are you talking about? And the voice, high-pitched voice, went and he said he just wanted to. I was just doing a comedy thing, And so I said, all right. So I felt guilty then, and I stopped and talked. And the comedy was asinine. The comedy was ridiculous, and so I moved on. But I lived with it for about another 10 years after that.
It still comes up.
People just ask questions.
So it's a long way from your Anger Billy, Charles.
A long way. The Ray Martin story tells us that no matter what cards we're dealt in life, we strive to play them to the best advantage and hope for a little luck.
There's a couple in the corner, still.
Despite adversity, Ray was never one to become a victim of his past, though he never forgave his father for those violent beginnings. He did try to contact you later in life, didn't he?
He did, when I first joined 60 Minutes. And suddenly I got a message from the gatehouse at Channel 9 that there was a bloke who was half drunk there who said that he was my father, and he'd left a number for me. And my mother was still alive, and I thought it would be an insult to her that if I suddenly resumed a relationship that he'd basically ended 20 years
You've never
earlier.
regretted that you didn't try to make contact again?
No, honestly, I haven't. It's as far as I was concerned, he died when I was 11. But I must say that it makes me cuddle my son and my daughter much more than perhaps I would have.
The other 1% isn't your fault. The other 1% is all the people that...
Can I finish this with a schlocky little Ray Martin question? You love him, don't you? How much do you love him?
God. I mean, I can't talk about it, you know. It's just... I wouldn't have... I can't.
We can't.
You know, I just... he's a nerd and he's wonderful, and I couldn't have anybody else or want anybody else ever.
He's not Ray Martin at home at all. He's Dad.
What better endorsement can a man have than that from his children?
None.
The wife's tale must be different, though.
No, it actually isn't very different, I think. But again, I knew him and met him and loved him long before he was ever anybody or anything. He's wonderful, and I love him. I always have.
Oh.
Now, this is a proper book. It's a proper book about a good journalist and a decent bloke. And you can't.
And it seems he is loved, not just at home, but wherever he goes.
All aboard. Come on, Ray, we've got to go.
Whatever his station in life, from Tumut to Sydney Central, everyone wants to get aboard the Ray Martin Express.
He's an extremely important man, and his time is really valuable. So can we just...
Oh, yeah, please. Sorry.
Not at all, Trish. Don't listen to them. I can stay all day and talk.
He can. That's the problem.
And I do.
I would quarry in vain, wouldn't I, to find the dark side of Ray Martin. I suspect there isn't one there.
Not that I know of. You know, my psychiatrist might tell you differently. I don't have a psychiatrist, but it's no. I love. I've been a journalist for 45 years. I can't imagine doing anything else. I can't imagine anything else being better than this, and that's the luck of the game.
Out there's a whole world. Jump a train.
Let's go. Okay, bugger it.
Yes, goodbye.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.